All right, y'all, top 5 things you need to know when driving while black. There is talk that black people have their kids as soon as they are old enough to drive, and it has to do with how not to get killed after getting stopped by the police. And it's a rite of passage for anybody who's driving while black. Now, with the growing number of black people becoming hashtags after an encounter with the police, we thought that it was a good time, for a reminder of what to do, how to survive when you encounter them. So join us right now, and y'all probably seen him on First 48 and the ID channel, show called Unreasonable Doubt. You make sure you watch that on the ID channel. Y'all give it up for Detective Chris Anderson.
Good morning, family.
Hey, Chris, good morning, man. Thank you for joining us this morning, man.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be here, Rickey.
Man, because, we talk about this stuff all the time with everything, going on or whatever. Even as a police officer, does it scare you because you got a son?
Absolutely, it scares me, man. I talk to my son continuously about how not to be involved in any type of situation that may not bring him home with law enforcement. I constantly drill that in his head, and he's 24 now, and he kind of gets tired of me saying it, but I still make sure I drill it in his head.
Right. What else? Some of the things that you talk to your son about.
So one thing that I tell him is keep both your hands on the steering wheel at all times. Seeing hands allows an officer to recognize that you are less of a threat. Seeing the hands will put the officer at ease, and it'll put you at ease by keeping your hands on the steering wheel where he can see them. Number 2 thing that I always tell him is that if you need to grab your driver's license or your wallet or anything like that, announce to the officer that, officer, I'm going inside of my glove compartment or my console to get my driver's license. Everyone that I've come across in law enforcement that carries a weapon keeps those weapons in a spot like that. And unfortunately, so do criminals. So the third thing that I always tell him is that you can question why you're being stopped, but I would suggest waiting until after you've given him your credentials. Because during the traffic stop, people who seek to do harm to an officer, they don't want to be identified. And usually they do that by questioning the officer to buy time.
Wait a minute. Stop right there, Chris. Ooh. Stop right there. That is so freaking critical. I never heard that before. Run that by us one more time, Chris.
Yeah, so when you're being stopped, you can question an officer, but don't do it until after you've given him over your credentials. The criminals don't want to be identified, guys. They don't. So the one thing that they will do in order to get an officer off, to figure out a way that they can attack him, is to ask a lot of questions. If you start questioning an officer, the first thing that's going to click in his mind is danger. And you don't want to put an officer in a position where he thinks that you may be a dangerous person. So make sure that if you're going to ask him why you're being stopped, make sure you turned over your credentials to him.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got another one?
Yeah. I actually have 2 more.
Come on.
Don't argue with an officer on the streets. If you feel
Say it again, Chris.
Say it again, Chris. Do not argue with an officer on the streets. If you feel that your traffic stop is unjust or wrong, the streets is not the place to argue. The place to argue is in a court of law. Arguing only prolongs, and it will escalate an already tense situation. So don't argue on the streets. Right. And the last point, and this is probably the most important point, always record your traffic stop, and you are perfectly within your right to do so. I'm an advocate for citizens recording traffic stops. I'm a huge advocate for it. Citizens recording traffic stops helps you, and it helps the officer. For all of us Apple users, there is a way that you can set your phone to record when you're stopped by law enforcement. It's not an app. It's actually a shortcut through your phone that you can set up, and I will post all the how-to video on how to do it on my social media pages. The only thing you have to do is say, Siri, I'm being pulled over. Your phone will automatically dial a person that you set. It will record the video. It will send your location to a predetermined person. Wow. Everything that you need to have happen can happen. And it's not an app. I repeat that it is not an app. It is a shortcut that's already set in your phone. You just have to activate it. Wow. It's important.
I can't.
I'm doing that every day.
Hey, Chris, everybody needs to make sure you get one of those mounts. Now, the one that I would recommend, the one that they sell at Walgreens, that little bullet, you stick it up there, and it just click on. You don't have to use both of your hands. You just pop your phone up there, and it the magnet, the little thing, Brad, I gave all of y'all one. Mm-hmm. It's called Easy something. But they in the TV section, things you see on TV section at Walgreens. And you put one part on the back of your phone and the other part on the dash, and you get pulled over. You just pop it up there and use that. What do you call it, Chris?
It's a shortcut in your Apple phone.
Wow.
I know. Right?
That's a lot of information.
Those are the keys.
Why has no one told us that before? That the world should know that, you know?
It's been out for years, Brad. It really has been out for a long time. We're just finding out about it, and we are some of the people that really, really need to have this information. But you have to activate it in your iPhone. All of us. Now, I've not found anything for Samsung for users, but iPhone does have it, and it works also. My son was stopped last week by law enforcement, and he did it, and it sent his location, it recorded the video, all seamlessly. All he said was, Siri, I'm being pulled over. And it did everything correctly. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Such good information.
Hey, Chris, we appreciate all of this, man. But before you go, I got to talk to my boy Rock T for a minute. Rock.
Yes, sir.
You already know what it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris, Chris, don't get mad that we're going to bring up our favorite episode of First 48. Our favorite episode of First 48. And it wasn't the one in the medicine class when the dude killed somebody. And then Chris never, y'all got to see this episode of First 48. Chris got him in the room. The dude blamed his mama. Right. What happened, Chris? What happened, Chris? The dude?
Man. He sat it down and gave up all these excuses about why he didn't kill this guy. And then he figures out, he remembers that his mom told him something. Now, meanwhile, his mama is out there giving us the business because we done towed her car in. We done had to tear up her car, and then we found blood all inside of his car. But this dude comes out there and says, and he knocks on the door. He said, Detective, come here, man, come here. So I go back in the room with him, and he's like, man, I just remember, man, my mama said she don't see that well, and she said that I hope I ain't dead, man. So, and I couldn't believe it.
And wait a minute, Chris. And what did Detective Anderson say when he told him that his mama couldn't see that good? He was trying to throw his mama under the bus.
Yo, mama? Yo, mama?
He said, man, I done seen a whole lot of things, man. He said, man, you gonna come here and blame your mama?
Keep it real.
Man, I have never experienced that ever in my life. Never.
Eva, they had to come get me. Eva, I was between the coffee table and the couch. Chris looked at, hey, he forgot that he was a detective.
Yes.
He turned into your uncle that be sitting on the porch, and he dropped his arm and dropped his head sideways. He said, yo, mama?
I can't even hear the word mama no more without saying, yo, mama?
Oh, I love it.
Chris, we talk about it every week on the radio. I know people tell you. They say, hey, Chris, they messing with you on the radio. That's one of our all-time favorite detectives. His show, Unreasonable Doubt, on the ID channel. And you can watch some of his episodes of First 48 on A&E. But how can they follow you on social media, Chris?
And how can we get this
man,
video on how to do the shortcut?
I'm going to post that on all of my social media, and you can follow me on social media at Detective Chris Anderson on all handles. I'm on Twitter, I'm on IG, I'm on Facebook. I'll post them all on those pages.
And all the people you done told about your, but did you tell your mama? I appreciate you, Chris.
Hey, man, Rickey, keep doing it, man. I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. I appreciate it.